Welcome to the Elevate Your Online Business podcast. I'm your host, Latice Hudson, and in 2018, I quit my corporate job, launched my coaching business, and in less than 1 year, I hit the six-figure mark. And now I'm here to help you do it too. So each week on the podcast, I'm going to share all things money, mindset, and online marketing so you can reach more people, make more money, and do what you love from the comfort of anywhere in the world. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. It's your time to elevate. Welcome back to the podcast, y'all. Today, we're going to talk all about the number one shift that you need to make to start making money inside of your business. So here's the thing. It's not going to be another strategy or another tactic or another how-to video. We're going to really talk about looking on the inside to create a better outside. Okay, so I know I'm a business coach, but a lot of what I'm going to share today is not necessarily going to be business. It's something that I've had to use and learn to be able to really focus on scaling my business to a level where I felt good about it, because so many times you see so many entrepreneurs get into business, they end up burning out, and they are not in business for very long because they're not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of their commitments. They're not taking care of their other obligations because they're putting their business at the forefront. So when I think about this, and I'm really excited to share with y'all today, what was the one big shift in the change that I had to make to be able to go from, I was making $20,000 a month and I went up to making over $96,000 a month in my business in just a few months. And I'm going to share with y'all right now what that shift was. That shift was I began to start honoring my commitments. And I'm going to break down what that actually really means from like a tangible level, from a mindset level, and how you can take this advice and start implementing it today. Because at the end of the day, when you are not honoring your commitments, what is that telling everybody else around you? What is that telling you? What is that telling your clients? That's telling all the people, including you, that you're not important enough. Your vision, your goals are not important enough, and everything else is. And I'm not here for that, y'all. I am not here for it. So let's kind of break down what I had to do back in 2020 at the beginning, like early 2020, the shift that happened. So for me, it was really focused around the commitments that I kept telling myself over and over again. I kept telling myself I wanted to work out more. I kept telling myself I wanted to eat better. I kept telling myself I wanted to say no more. But what actually happened, I was doing all the opposites, right? I was eating trash. I was not showing up for myself. I was not telling people no. I was letting people walk all over me. And what actually ended up happening, that started to play out in my reality. In my reality, it showed what was happening on the inside. And as business owners, we often, again, we love to put everybody else in front of us. In reality, we've really got to focus on the inside to be able to get to that next level. So when I think about honoring my commitments, that shift that happened for me is, it was simply a decision, y'all. I know y'all might think that that's crazy, but it really was a decision. The decision was that if I was going to show up and be a 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneur, the question I asked myself was, what do those people do every day? Those people don't sit around and watch Netflix necessarily. Those people don't sit around and make excuses. Those people don't eat less than high quality food. Those people, right, they don't make excuses. They don't play small. They didn't get to the level of success that they're at by playing small and operating at a low vibration and a low level. So for me, when I think about honoring commitments, for me, and this may look different for you, I want you to recognize, just because I have a commitment of wanting to move my body more than not and wanting to eat higher quality foods, that doesn't mean that's your commitment. So I don't want you to feel like if you're, listening to the podcast or watching the replay of this, that you have to start working out and eating better and that's how you're going to make sales. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that you've got to look at all the things that you've been telling yourself over the years, every New Year's, every quarter when you set new goals and new expectations, and you have to look at what's the common denominator here, okay? The common denominator for why you're not hitting your goals more than likely is you. And the common denominator why you're probably not making the money that you want in your business is you. It's not because you lack strategy. It's not because you're lacking know-how, right? You may obviously need a roadmap and this and that, and we can help you with that inside of Social Selling Society. But it's not that you're lacking all those things. It's that you're lacking honoring the commitments that you've set for yourself because you've put everybody else in front of you. So the switch that happened for me is, and this is what it took, I had to do something crazy. For me, it's always like something crazy, and for you, it may not be, but for me, in April 2020, I was like, okay, and I don't necessarily recommend this, but I had to do the 75 hard challenge. Now, I will be honest, I did not finish it because I did end up getting sick. So I learned another lesson in that. I ended up getting strep throat. But the lesson that I learned is that sometimes it takes making a decision and eliminating the things that have been holding you back. Sometimes it takes making that sharp decision and being like, okay, in order for me to regulate my nervous system, regulate my body, regulate my emotions and my actions and my thoughts and my feelings, I have to completely remove something in order to figure out my relationship with it. Okay, so for me, it was food primarily, right? It was my relationship with food. It was like, okay, I don't feel good when I eat certain types of food, but I'm going to continue. I kept eating certain types of food, and I was like, why do I not feel my best? Why can I not show up for my people powerfully? Why do I feel sluggish? Why does my body feel like it's shutting down? So what ended up happening was I went on the 75 hard challenge because I knew that if I had a strict, if I had to follow a more stricter diet, if I had to follow a, protocol, because in the 75 hard challenge, what you have to do is you have to do like 1 gallon of water. You have to pick a diet and stick with it. You can't like back and forth on diets. So you could pick like keto or macros or calories, whatever, but you had to pick a diet. For me, it was clean eating. So I didn't eat any processed food. You also had to do like 2 workouts a day. And then you also had to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book. And then I feel like, oh yeah, and you had to do a picture. You had to take a picture every single day of your progress. So I made it about 29 days, almost a full month, but in that 29 days, I learned so much. And the biggest thing that I learned, y'all, was how to be disciplined. Okay, so I grew up relatively disciplined, but for whatever reason, as an adult, and as I started to like put everybody else in front of me, my discipline fell to the wayside. And that started to show up in how I was showing up for my people, how I was coaching, the curriculum I made. Like, it wasn't my best. And the reason why it wasn't my best is because I wasn't feeling my best. My body wasn't at its best. I wasn't mentally feeling my best because I wasn't giving myself a fighting chance. There's this meme that's floated around for the last probably couple of years, but it's Jim Carrey, and I'm in no way, shape, or form comparing what I was at those moments to depression, but like in 2016, I was diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. So I know a little bit about mental health, right? And I'm no way saying that like me not showing up for my business was because of mental health issues. Honestly, for me, I wasn't giving myself a fighting chance because I was doing all the things that I said I didn't want to do, and therefore I wasn't making the money that I wanted to make. So hopefully this is like catching on, right? When we say that we're going to do something and then we let ourselves down, what are we telling to the rest of the world? We're telling our people that we don't care about ourselves, that we are not good at holding our word, and that our commitments don't really matter. That's what we're telling ourselves. Whether you're physically saying it or not, that's exactly what's happening, okay? Whether you physically say it or not, from the energetic standpoint, that's what's happening. And then furthermore, what ends up happening is we start to have a lack of confidence, okay? We're unable to bounce back the way that we used to be, right? And I'm not saying like health-wise or anything like that. I'm saying like in our business, when we correlate, right? When we correlate how we're showing up in our lives to our business, it's a pure mirror back to what's going on in our daily lives. It's a pure mirror. And anybody could fight me and argue me on this, but like I literally tell my clients all the time is what commitments have you set for yourself personally that you're not showing up for, right? And that's a powerful question that we will ask because as a coach, as a business coach, it's not just my job to coach you on the newest funnel or the newest strategy. We've got to focus on what are the other outside factors, right, within our scope, okay, that are playing a part in why you're not able to show up or why you're not taking the action or why you're not getting the results that you want for your clients. Because you're probably not showing up for yourself. And it's very, very difficult, y'all, to show up for somebody else, show up for a lot of different clients if you're not showing up for yourself. And somebody can argue me that all day long. But if you are not taking care of yourself and the commitments that you have set for yourself, it's going to be a damn shame. And it's going to be extremely hard for you to show up for the people that need you the most because you're not showing up for yourself. So when I think about making money, and I think about honoring our commitments, I want you to sit and ask yourself right now while you're listening to this, where are the 2 to 3 points in my life that I am not showing up for myself? Whether it's your health, whether it's your fitness, whether it's your relationship, whether it's honoring your self care, whether it's putting in boundaries, right? Why are you working 23 hours out of 24 hours a day, or only working 1 hour out of 24 hours a day? Right? You could be on either spectrum, but where are you not honoring yourself in the process? Because it's, what's the point, y'all, of making all this money? What's the point of working with all these amazing clients if you're not showing up for yourself? What's the point of that? There is none. Because at some point, you're going to need a further why to keep carrying on than just making money. Because making money is the creme de la creme, right? But you've got to be able, because at some point you're going to hit a level of revenue, right? And I think I know what that revenue is for me. It's probably going to be around 5 million, where it's like, this is really, really great. 5 to 10 million, somewhere in there. Like, this is really, really great, but what else? What else is there to life? Okay. And what else is there to life is you honoring yourself and honoring yourself through the process and being accountable for the things that you have set for yourself. How do you expect clients to get results if you can't even keep your word for yourself? And that's what I'm trying to hit home today in. Because when I started honoring my commitments, y'all, we literally went from 20K months to a 96K month and then consistent 60 to 80K months after that. And that's because I held my word to myself. It's an energetic exchange, just like we talk about energetic exchange with money, right? We talk about money all the time. We talk about, in exchange for value, in exchange for a service, there is money. On the flip side of that, to even get to that level of exchange, you've got to honor yourself in the process. And you've got to take care of your vessel. You've got to take care of your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit. You got to take care of your environment. But no one else is going to do that for you but you. You've got to do that for yourself. Today's episode is sponsored by our signature group coaching program. Coaches tell me all the time, I'm ready for freedom in my coaching business. One-to-one coaching has been fun, but I'm ready for what's next. While there is a time and a place for courses in one-to-one coaching, when you're looking to scale past those coveted 10K months, an evergreen group coaching program is absolutely necessary. When I launched my Evergreen Group Coaching Program in 2019, it literally changed my entire life and business. Why? Because I was no longer capped on time. I took my expertise, packaged it up, and sold it one-to-many every single day of the week. I finally got the real freedom that I've been looking for and the bank account too. This new way of coaching created massive leverage and massive impact. If you're anything like me, your freedom and impact is non-negotiable. This is exactly why I want to invite you to apply for the Elevate to Success Accelerator Group Coaching Program. Just for applying, I also want to send you over a free exclusive advanced training I recently created about the 3-part framework to consistent 5 to 6 figure months with a high ticket group coaching program. This training is for coaches who are ready to create a group coaching program, attract clients on autopilot, and create a business that you truly love. It's for you, even if you have a small audience of never sold group coaching before. It takes just 2 minutes to apply. Head on over to www.latisehudson.com/apply to get all the details. It's going to be a lot easier to hold a boundary that you've put up for somebody else when you're holding the boundaries for yourself. So I want you to think about this, and I want you to think about where in your life you're not honoring those commitments, and take out your journal or notebook and write those down. And this is not to shame you or to guilt you, right? But this is to be really, really, really honest and create real awareness around where can we improve. I don't care what anybody says. We as humans can always improve. We as coaches can always improve, right? As a coach, I expect my coaches and mentors to be improving, right? And then I also expect myself to be improving in all aspects, right? And there are going to be times, y'all, let's just keep it 100. There are going to be times where we're not 100% on our game, right? And I was listening to a podcast yesterday by Chris Harder, and I can't remember the title, but they talked about disruption in your energy. And they talked about why it's so necessary. Why operating at 100% isn't actually, it's not possible. Okay, nobody can operate at 100% for an extended period of time. You just can't. But here's the thing, when you operate at 100% and then maybe you have a couple off days, but you're back on it because you've got through the mind drama, right? And you've honored your commitments for a long period of time. That jolt in energy is gonna shake a lot of shit up. It's going to shake up how you show up in your business. It's going to increase your confidence. You're going to take more action. You're going to show up as that 6, 7, 8, 9 figure version of you. And your people are going to be along for the ride. Because at the end of the day, you are human. So no one is sitting here saying that you need to be perfect 24/7 or you need to show up 24/7. But like, you damn sure better be showing up for yourself if your goal is to make 6, 7, 8, 9 figures, right? What's the point of making all that money if you're not showing up for yourself? So I really want y'all to think about that energetic exchange, not just energetic exchange of money when you're asking your clients to pay for the service that they want, but that energetic exchange that you wake up with when you get out of bed, right? Stop scrolling the first moment that you get out of bed, right? Because you're feeding yourself everybody else's thoughts and emotions and feelings, and you're not feeding your own soul and your own mind because you don't even have your own identity. Okay, so when we start to honor our commitments, we create an identity for ourselves. And that identity is what our clients want. That identity is what we need. That identity is what's going to establish us as a thought leader in the industry, right? But when you're constantly soaking in everybody else's thoughts and opinions and feelings, right, you start to figure out, or you start to realize you don't actually know what you believe is true or not. And the best way to figure out what you believe is true or not, the best way to figure out your identity is to proclaim and confirm and affirm and walk and talk with conviction about the commitments that you have set for yourself. It's a lot easier for me to ask my clients and call them in on their stuff when I know in the back of my mind that I'm doing my stuff every single day too. I'm not perfect though, and I never will say that I am, but what I will say is that when I made that energetic exchange for myself, whoo, that's when life started to change. That's when business started to change. I started to make more money. I started to work with better clients, right? I started to love what I was doing because I loved my outside as much as I loved my inside, because I decided that my outside also mattered as much as my inside. And I didn't just walk the walk. I didn't just say, hey, I'm going to journal all day, every day, and like, I'm just going to manifest all the clients. I actually was able to create confidence in myself because I took action. So many people are like, I want to make more money. Well, first off, how are you showing up for yourself? And second, when you start showing up for yourself and loving on yourself first, right? Y'all always hear that saying, it's going to be really difficult to love somebody else if you don't love yourself first. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment fully, right? Because I think people put other people on a pedestal that they have to be 100% healed or 100% be in love with every part of themselves before they can love somebody else. I don't agree with that. But what I do agree with is that you have to be actively healing and actively working towards loving yourself to be able to receive that love. And it's the same in business. To actively be able to receive money and income and wealth, right? You've got to honor the vessel that's going to be taking all that in. And that's the energetic exchange, right? When you hold, I love here, when you hold steadfast to yourself, your boundaries, they're not going to be an issue. You're not going to let that client out of their agreement because that's the boundary, because you've honored everything else in your life. And it's no longer an emotional decision. It's a business decision, right? You're not going to take all types of crazy payment plans because you're not that person. Because you've started to transform and embody the next level version by the way you show up for yourself every single day. There's always going to be a room of people watching, right? The first person that ever paid me inside of my high ticket one-to-one Elevate program, right? We were friends on Instagram, but didn't talk too much back and forth. But all of a sudden I got a DM out of nowhere being like, wow, you've been showing up so powerfully. I need to work with you. What's the investment? Literally. And paid $3,000 in full just like that. Because I started to honor myself, I showed up for myself, and I walked the walk and talked the talk. But it's really difficult to do that when you feel like an imposter, right? I see this term imposter syndrome thrown around everywhere. But imposter syndrome, right? If you feel like a fraud, maybe you are. Maybe you aren't. But if you feel that way, look for evidence, right? My mindset coach, Topsy, my old mindset coach taught me this, is like, look for the evidence and separate the feelings from the fact. What's the feelings and what are the facts of the matter, right? If you're not making money, if you're not getting the clients that you want, are you showing up for yourself first? Are you showing up for your people second? And are you committed to holding your boundaries? That's the facts. And there's no questions or thoughts about it. There's no emotions. It's just fact, right? Are you showing up for yourself? No. Are you showing up for your people? No. Are you holding your boundaries? No. But it all falls in order. It's like, again, it's going to be so difficult, y'all, to hold somebody else to a high standard if you're not even holding yourself to a high standard. It's going to be really difficult. My goal here is for us to just look and reflect at where can we be better? Where can we transform today? What commitment can you start honoring today that's going to bring you in money? Right? Because when you feel your best and you look your best, I promise you, you're going to feel so much better about showing up on live video, being the person that people need, right? Because that confidence is going to shine through. I get the question, well, how can I be more confident, Latisse, when I'm selling? How can I be more sure of myself when I'm selling, right? For one, you've got to love what you sell and you've got to love yourself through it, right? I think I am like the best damn thing walking around because I truly love myself and I truly appreciate the value that I bring to the marketplace. Now, I'm not saying there's not other coaches that don't do things similar and that may be better than me, but I'm not sitting around thinking about those people. I'm thinking about how can I be better each and every day and how I show up for myself and how I show up for my clients. That's what I think about. And that's not always at the top of my mind, right? It's not always at the top of my mind, how can I be better? But I would say 95% of the time it is. And the other 5%, I'm human. But that other 95%, you bet for damn sure I'm going to be asking myself, how can I improve? How can I be better? And how can I also be grateful in this moment today for what I've produced and what value I've given and the results that my clients have gotten? But I feel so much more confident and so much more empowered when I'm showing up for myself. So the number one shift for all of you that are listening that you need to make, if you're looking at your business and you're like, wow, I'm not making the money that I want, I'm not getting the clients that I want, my business is nowhere I thought it should be, where can you start honoring yourself today? Is that fitness? Is that health? Is that love? Is that taking the days off that you said you're going to take off? Is that honoring your boundaries and telling people no? Where is that at? Right? Because when we have all this leaky energy around us, what are we going to get? Leaky results. We're going to get leaky people coming into our programs. We're going to get leaky results, and we're not going to get what we want. But I'm not here for not getting what we want. I'm only here for getting what we want. Because I truly believe, and the belief that I have, y'all, is that we come to this earth to get what we want. Now, it's your decision. There's a difference between wishing and desiring, right? And you've got to decide to stop wishing and start desiring the life that you want. And you don't just wake up one day with a 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure business. You have to slowly, and not even slowly, you can quantum leap become that person. You can become her starting today. So I want you to take a really real look at where you're at in your life, because I truly believe you can't build a business that you love if you don't have a life that you love. Because inevitably, your business, you're no longer going to live your business if your life is falling apart, your relationship is falling apart, your health is falling apart, and you're not happy. It doesn't matter how, at some point, there's a threshold, right? I told y'all earlier in this episode, 5 to 10 million for me, that's probably my threshold when it's like, what's next? What else? Okay? And I know that for a lot of my high performers and high achievers, coaches that are listening to this, you're going to feel the same way, right? I hear people sometimes be like, oh my God, like, I don't need to make 6 figures. It's not about the money. Cut the shit. It is about the money, right? But at some point, it's going to be what else? What more than the money? And that's where life and having a life that you love is going to be so important, right? Don't you want to be healthy for your kids, your partner, your clients? Don't you want to have good boundaries so you can actually show up powerfully and not be drained every coaching call, right? We all know when people are drained because they're getting taken advantage of or their boundaries are being overstepped. But the beautiful thing, y'all, today you have the power to take your power back and the power to make decisions that are going to lead a life in a business that you love for forever, not just for today or next week or 2022 or 2023, but for forever, right? You creating a business today is for the long term. It's not for the next, couple of years. So why would you not honor everything else in your life for the business that you want to create for 5-10 years from now? So honor yourself in the process and watch the magic truly unfold. You're going to start seeing clients coming in and messaging you. You're going to start getting discovery calls booked out of nowhere. You're going to start getting people applying for your program that you've never heard of. Because that energy is vibrating so high and that belief in yourself is so high that it's just going to be magnetic. And I can promise you, when you start honoring yourself, y'all, through the process and make these commitments and honor them, woo, life is going to start to get really good and business is going to start to get really, really good. But it all comes in declaration that you deserve it, right? Because the reasons why we don't do certain things or take certain actions in life is because we don't believe that we deserve it. So now we have to make a decision that we do deserve it. We do deserve to lead a fulfilled life. We do deserve to lead a life full of health, wealth, and happiness, right? We do deserve all those things. We do deserve the $100,000 launches or the $50,000 launches or the $1,000,000 launches. We deserve all of that. We deserve profitability in our businesses. We deserve being able to work from anywhere in the world. We deserve all of that. But until you proclaim that and affirm that and walk and talk that with conviction, you're not going to be where you want to be. And that's not the vibe that I'm looking for any of the people that are coming across this podcast or any videos that I do online. I want y'all to proclaim fiercely the desires of your heart, period. I want y'all to proclaim that. So I hope this strikes a chord today because it was something that was on my heart and something that I coach my clients on all the time, because I'm not just your favorite business coach. I'm also a life coach underneath all of it, right? And helping y'all get your mindsets together around what you're capable of, because so often we think we're not as capable as we think we are, but I'm here to break it to you, sis. You are far more capable than you think you are. But it all starts with you honoring those commitments to yourself. So I want you to write out a list of 3 to 5 commitments that you want to change, right? And if 3 to 5 feels overwhelming, start with 1 to 2, right? And then make a decision today to start honoring those. Period. If it's to drink more water, if it's to show up more powerfully, if it's to say no, whatever that looks like, start by honoring those and watch the magic unfold. So I appreciate y'all so much for listening to this episode. Send me a DM on Instagram if this really resonated with y'all, because trust me, when I made those commitments, our business just grew hyper quickly, hyper fast, and we broke our business. But honestly, I'd rather have a business that I gotta fix because I'm making too much money than have a business where I'm not making enough money. So if y'all are with that, send me a DM on Instagram. Let me know that this podcast really resonated, because it's really what changed my life. That was a tip, strategy, or secret. It was honoring my commitments, right? Because once you honor your commitments, the magic just unfolds. So I love y'all. I'm just so grateful that I got to show up for y'all today. And like I said, send me a DM on Instagram. Let me know how you love this episode, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Hey, if you loved today's episode, I would love if you took a quick second to leave a rating and a review. It truly means the world to me and helps spread the message to coaches just like you who are ready to go to the next level in their business. And if you're ready to start scaling your online coaching business, I want to take the time to invite you to apply to join the Accelerator. This is our exclusive high-level group coaching program for coaches ready to create and launch a signature group coaching program. This program would help you finally scale past those coveted 10K months and create a scalable business model for years to come. Head on over to www.latissehudson.com/apply to submit your application and get all the details. You don't want to miss it.